Hello, everyone. I am Christina Taylor, Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, coming to you live but recorded from North Canton, Ohio. So I'm so excited that you are joining me today for this Bye Bye Winter, Hello Sunshine card class. So the projects that we're doing in today's class are well, they're just bright and cheery. They're like all the things that we want to see now, being that it's February, we want to see all things spring. So there's some spring things and some bright colors and just no more snowflakes, even though we're still seeing them here in Northeast Ohio. So anyway, I hope that I provide some creative inspiration for you today with these projects. And you'll create them, you'll send them out, brighten somebody's day, and it'll inspire you to create some other projects on your own at home. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down so you can kind of see the projects here that are on the my table surface. And then we'll go ahead and get started stamping. All right. Okay, so these are a peek at the projects that we're going to be creating in today's class. I just wanted to give you a look at those and we'll look at them closer as we go through each project. And then these are two current catalogs, well, along with our big book, which this is in effect until the end of April, which I think it goes to like May 5th. Um, no, it does say the end of April. So anyway, this is our current big catalog. This is our mini catalog with some items that are available January through April. We're going to be using this paper today. And some other projects that are, or some other stamps that are out of here, like this big happy birthday stamp, which I think is really fun to work with. I particularly like this idea that they did with it here, using our note cards and envelopes, and then the Stampin' spots to kind of give you that cool color combination with the two tones there. Just making a super simple happy birthday card when you need one very quickly and you don't have time to embellish or anything like that. Just kind of change up your inks and you're good to go. So we've got some products that we're going to be using out of this mini, and then some celebration products, which this is our big promotion that we have once a year. These items featured in here, as I've shared before, are free with either a $60 or $120 purchase. Last I looked, all items were still available. There's an embossing folder, some ribbon embellishments here, designer paper, stamp sets. There's the embellishments there. Then these two items are good with or free with a $120 purchase. I particularly love this heart shape bundle. It has been one of my very favorites. We're using that again today. And then the Corner in Bloom stamp set. There is a current join promotion. If you have interest in becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator, there are two options. And if you have interest, feel free to contact me. I'd like to talk to you more about that. And then also, if you are a hostess during celebration, when your order reaches over $300, whether that's you and a group of friends or just you as an individual order, you can get $30 in bonus free shopping dollars. That's in addition to, I think, like $36, $37 you would already earn. So great time to get all things Stampin' Up. There's also been some additional items released in the online store. So if you go to my website, stampingyoucrazy.stampinup.net, and click on the celebration promotion, there will be, I think there's about 8 or 10 items that have been added, and they are current catalog merchandise that you can get for free. There's some of the brass butterflies that are in there, some ribbons, some various sets of dies, a couple punches, and a couple stamp sets too. So they've increased the options, so lots to choose from. Okay, let me grab some goodies here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So on this first project, oh, and you know what? I got to grab my supplies here. Hang on just a second. Okay. I didn't have my supplies to be able to make the cards, so I needed to grab those. So if any of the products that you see used in today's video, if you want to purchase them yourself and you want to have them for your own creative use, again, you can go to my online store at stampingucrazy.stampinup.net. This is my current postcode, XNPAJ7EB. And when you enter that prior to your checkout online, then that would get you a copy of, or that would get you, oh my goodness, um, words are hard today. When you enter that and your order is at least $60, that would get you this kit for free. So you can either purchase the kit for $25 and take the class that way, or you can place an order of $60 and you can get this kit for free in the mail. Or stop by. If you're local, a lot of ladies stop by and pick them up at my house. So and so if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the little like button down at the corner. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and share my channel. I would love that, appreciate that so much. It helps me grow my business. So that's all the commercial break things that, you know, they want us to share on YouTube to kind of create all the, I don't know, create all the excitement. People get to share the video. You want to inspire others by sharing the projects that we made today. And I appreciate that. Okay, so this is the first project we're going to be creating. And I'm actually going to make it just a note card. I had happy birthday, and I'm going to make it into a just a note. So that way you can use it, a just a note card, you could use it for really any occasion. That's kind of just going to open it up to whether you're like, hey, happy birthday, or thinking of you, or if someone isn't feeling well, you can create it into a get well soon, or just sending hugs kind of card. So I'm going to put that over here in the corner. The supplies that we're using on this project are the inks are Daffodil Delight and Old Olive. We are using the exposed brick embossing folder, which is the 3D folder. Using the heart-shaped bundle, that's the bundle I was talking about, that's free with a $120 purchase. So you've got a set of dies and the stamp set that coordinates along with it. And actually, I grabbed the Just a Note out of the Link Together stamp set, which I did a product-based class on. So that's something, if you purchase this Linked Together bundle, I do have a product-based class video tutorial that I can send you for that as well. So that's something to think about too. I think there's like 5 projects in there that we did. And anyway, I grabbed the Just a Note out of this stamp set, but I very well could have used the Because I Care on there now that I'm looking at that, but I'm going to stick with the Just a Note. And then we've got some of the little gold textured dots that we're going to use on the project. And we're using, this is called the Floral Delight Designer Series paper. This is in the mini catalog, which I had pointed out earlier. I'll just flip to it in the catalog. That way it's a little easier to show the paper kind of all in one thing instead of flipping through all the papers. So this is a look at the papers. You've got some great florals on one side, like side A, and then the side B would be more muted, smaller patterns that you could use on your projects as well. There's also a nice vellum pack that comes with in this particular suite of products. Okay, so we are using that well, and let me share with you the supplies that we've got. So we've got our envelope. We've got a piece of lemon lolly that's 5.5 by 8.5, and that is scored at 4 1/4. Okay. Got a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 4 by 5 1/4. I've gone ahead and embossed this with the exposed brick embossing folder, which you can kind of see that texture on there. Got a piece of basic white that's 3.5 by 5. We've got a piece of designer series paper, and I'm trying to see what I had this one cut at. This is 1 3/4 by 4.5. We've got a piece of old olive that is 2 by 2 square. I've already gone ahead and punched out, oh, I forgot to grab the circle punch, but I've gone ahead and punched out some ink on my finger there. 1 3/4 white circle, just using this circle punch, and I've got a piece of tape there stuck on my finger. You just need a little scrap of white for your greeting. I've got a 6.5-inch piece of the Daffodil Delight ribbon, which not sure what I did with the spool of that. And then a die cut. I've already gone ahead and die cut the little greenery piece and the little blossom. And those came out of this die set. Here. And I've got the hiccups here. I apologize. Let me take a drink and see if that helps. Okay, I think I got the hiccups on the last video I did too. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and fold this half at our score line and take our bone folder to flatten that crease or that fold. And we've already got, like I said, our embossing done. That was done with the exposed brick embossing folder. So that is done. And we're going to do a little stamping. And because this is photopolymer, I'm going to use my foam mat. Let's get all of our pieces out that we're going to need to stamp on. This and this. Don't need that one. Okay. So let's start. We'll start with stamping our envelope and our inside layer. So I'm going to do this 3 little blossom stamp, and I'm going to stamp that on the back side of my envelope flap. Bring it around and do a little bit there in the front, and then put a little flowers on that inside layer. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that. I'm just going to use my chamois to do that. Right. And then I'm going to bring in this little tiny leaf stamp just to add some little greenery to our little bundles of flowers there. Okay. Clean that off. And stamp our sentiment piece and do some stamping on this little green. So I'm done with the daffodil. I'll shut that. And on this one, this little green piece, so I'm just going to stamp some of these green, this cluster of 3 flowers, just kind of randomly on my little square piece. Really suction to my stamp there. Okay, so I've got that stamped. And I'm going to go ahead and clean that off. And then I'm going to do my just the note. Ink that up. And stamp that on my little piece of paper there. Okay. All right, so we've got all of our stamping done. So I'm going to set those things aside. We're ready to assemble. Okay. So my ribbon, so this, I want to use, when I designed this card, the daffodil ribbon that was in the catalog with the spring set of products was unavailable. It was such high demand that it sold out. So what I did was I found this Stampin' Up ribbon, which some of you might have this in your stash. And I just cut it in half and it mimicked that 1/8 of an inch ribbon that Stampin' Up had. And I felt like it did the trick. So if you've got this ribbon, you can accomplish this look the same way just by cutting the ribbon in half. It just makes it a little more just a little more delicate. Not that this ribbon is like super strong and bold or anything, but it's just a little slimmer. And I felt like that look with like the daintiness of the little die cuts on there. Okay, so we are ready to layer this card. Start by putting our inside layer in. It was so cold this morning. Oh my goodness. I think it was just like 7 degrees. Oh, it's not much warmer now, like maybe 12. It's really not. I said before, like February is the shortest month, but let me look at this and see which way I want to do it. Okay. February is the shortest month, but man, sometimes it seems like the longest because it just drags on. Do you feel that way too? So we're gonna layer that on. Okay. And then put our DSP on. So anyone that ordered this kit to go class or placed an order to get it for free, you're making a total of 8 cards on this particular project or this class series, I guess I should say. So we're gonna that's right about there. I like all the little textures elements in this project. This circle here, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on with some dimensionals. So ooh, a fresh sheet of dimensionals. Who doesn't love that? There we go. Yeah, right about there. And we'll put a little glue on this stem. Okay. Lay that down just at a little bit of an angle there. And then what I want to do is come in with my ribbon and I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to put some like right on the circle there a little bit. And I'm going to just make like a zigzag back and forth. Kind of tuck that down. Not really, not any precision with it. I'm just going back and forth here. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little adhesive. Let me grab my silicone mat. Anytime you're putting adhesive on something that's tiny, and on this, because it's going to go on ribbon, I want to put some seal on there because it's going to be a little bit, I don't know, more robust than my Tombow because I want to stick it to that ribbon. So I just put some of my Stampin' Seal on there. And when you put adhesive on the silicone mat, it just rubs off. So you just get all that adhesive rubbed right off. It doesn't then mess up your stamping surface. So I'm going to put that flower in place. And then the little strip that we stamped our greeting on, I'm just going to angle cut that. So not, there's no die used. I'm just angle cutting it. And I think I want to put this on with some dimensionals too. But I'm just going to put them on each end. because it's going to lay on top of that circle. So I might put a little adhesive in the middle there just so it'll make contact and stay in place. So, put that right there. So I've got those 2 dimensionals. I'm going to push down on that. And then that liquid adhesive is just going to kind of lay on that circle. It'll make contact just to hold everything together. And let me grab a embellishment here. So you should have a couple of these in your kit to be able to put them on the center of your card. And there's various different sizes in here. I'll just grab a medium one. Put that on there. Just really makes those flowers just come to life with that little pop of golden color there. Okay. Side there. All right, so that is our first project. Just a note. So who wouldn't like receiving that cherry card, you know? All right, let me just kind of clean up these supplies and I'll come right back with another project for you. Hey, this next project that we're going to do features that happy birthday, the simple happy birthday stamp that's in the occasions catalog. And we just kept like a monochromatic tone to the card. This could very much be a male or female, masculine, feminine card to send for a birthday. But what I did, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm delayed at sending birthday cards. So I stamped in here, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. So even not only if you're late sending it, but sometimes our mail isn't it's a little behind. So that's a perfect sentiment to put inside the card. So I've stamped that on there. And we've done a little textured embossing on there with this new embossing folder. So I'm going to share this with you. So we've got our pastel sequins that we're going to use on there to complement the Summer Splash cardstock. I've used the deckled rectangle dies. So there's a series of them. They're kind of all jumbled in there, but I use not the largest, but the second, the largest, and then the next one down in that series. So that is what I've used to cut out the pieces. And we've got our simple happy birthday stamp. It's a photopolymer stamp. And then we've got something fancy. And I'm going to grab the I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. Put that on a block. And that is a red rubber stamp. And then the embossing folder that I'm using is a new embossing folder, plastered painting. And it is one of our larger folders. So you can do 2 card fronts in here at a time, which is super nice. And I've gone ahead and already embossed that for us. So, okay. And then I brought in my not my Stamp-A-Majig, that's an old tool. My Stamparatus, and I know this is currently not in Stampin' Up's product line, but I love my Stamparatus. I actually have a couple of them and use them at class because it does make it handy for ladies to be able to stamp and ink and stamp the larger stamps and get a good impression. So I still continue to use that to help as far as like stamping, because sometimes the larger blocks are cumbersome for people to hold, and this makes it a little easier. So whatever your stamp positioning tool might be, feel free to use that. Okay, we've got our supplies here. We've got our white envelope. I've gone ahead already and die cut those 2 deckled rectangles out of the basic white. I've got a piece of Summer Splash that is a 5.5 by 8.5 and it is scored at 4 1/4. And then a piece of Summer Splash, and this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I've gone ahead and already embossed that in that plastered painting embossing folder. So the reason I did that, and it really takes up the most of the card front, sometimes when you emboss your card front on the actual card itself, it just weakens it a little bit and doesn't give it as much structure. So that's why I just embossed a layer and put it right on top and made it just almost as big as the card front itself. It's just down by like 1/8 of an inch. So we'll start by folding our card base in half and flattening that. And then we're going to stamp. So I had already put one in here. I didn't realize that I did that. So I don't really need this size. Put that aside there. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made a template just out of some bright paper, and I put my deckled rectangle shape in there. That way, if I need to re-ink it and for some reason it's moved, I can get it lined back up right where I need it to go. So I'm going to ink that and stamp it down. Hopefully I've positioned it in a way that's going to be good. And I'm going to use my little handheld tool here just to kind of glide across. That looks pretty good. Let's ink it again and just see if it's a little bit bolder. But that impression is pretty good. That's the great thing about a stamp positioner. You can just re-ink it and go right back down, and it's just going to give you a nice impression. Oh yeah, I like that. It's a little bolder. Let's go with this one. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that out. It's ready for my card front, and I'm going to just move the Stamparatus off my table surface. I just want to say the Stamp-A-Majig. Do you all remember the Stamp-A-Majig? Some of you still might have it. I think I actually still do have my Stamp-A-Majig. It was a stamp positioning tool as well. I didn't do anything to this envelope, but you know what might look really cool is this embossed. I could do some birthday balloons on here. I think I'll stamp some birthday balloons because I've got the new stamp set. I think it's called On the Corner. And it actually just arrived earlier today. And I think I might stamp some balloons from that. Yeah, let me run and get that. Okay, I just ran and got this. It literally just came, but I haven't done anything more with the order. So let's take a little sidebar here and take a peek at this. So this is it's called Spring Corners. It's in the online, it's an online exclusive, so you can see it online through my online store. Oh, these dies are fun. So you've got several different dies that'll cut out images to put on your cards, and they're all like little corner dies, hence the name Spring Corners. And then some shapes, some hearts. This will cut out the little flower in here, cuts out the balloons. But the one that what really sold me on this stamp set, okay, this is a sunshine, and you've got the little circle, so you can put that in there to create the sunshine. And it says, "You brighten my day." And you always know how I say, make a little sun, so you create your own paper sunshine and brighten someone's day. I'm like, well, I have to have this stamp set. I mean, that's just a must. But let's see, it says, "Wishing you an amazing day. Thank you for you. Thank you for everything, always in your corner let's see, through the day, through the happy and sad, happy we are friends. Happy birthday. You amaze me." It's just super cute. Like I said, it just came, so I haven't been able to play with it, but these balloons will be great for the happy birthday card. So let me put this back in here. I always like to put my dies in so the dies are on the front of the envelope, and then this little flap will slide right in, as opposed to getting caught on the dies. So that's how I do it. And take this off. This is a photopolymer stamp set. And this is like fresh off the presses. I haven't even been able to use this. Yeah, it's really like stuck to that too. Okay, let me get a block here. We'll use those little balloons on our card. Okay, Like back to our regular scheduled program there. I got a little side note. I got diverted there. Okay, so let's ink up the stamp. We'll do, I did a couple of stamps. So you get a light and a dark there, some balloons. And actually, how fun would this be? So, let's see. This happy birthday. Oh, these stamps are really stuck on there. I haven't. They are French. Okay, I'm gonna try something different here. Okay, then I'm gonna ink it up. Happy birthday, and then stamp that on the envelope. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Just you can't really see this one on the camera very well, but it's kind of like a pool party. This one is the summers, and then it's stamped off. It looks like pool party. Okay, we got a little sidetrack there. Sorry about that. But I just knew that came, and I was like, oh, those balloons would be perfect on this little birthday card. All right, so we're ready to assemble. And you could choose which side you want as far as the embossed or the debossed, whichever you like. And I'm gonna put some generous adhesive on this because it's very deeply embossed, and I just want to make sure that I get a good um, adhesion, if that's even a word. I don't even know, but it's gonna work for me today on the front of the card. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing for the birthday piece because it's going on that embossed layer. I want to make sure that it's makes good contact. It's just a super simple card, but I love it. I love the texture on it. The font on this birthday greeting is great. And then you've got your inside layer. And I'm just going to leave that blank because, maybe I only need one belated birthday card. So I will just leave that blank. Oh, I could stamp. Oh, did I just put that in? Almost did. I could stamp some balloons on there. Let's do that. There we go. Cute. Okay. And then we need to add a little sparkle here. Let's close our ink pad because I almost set the entire card in there. Come back with some of these gems. Put some of those adhesive back sequence on there. Okay. We'll put one there. Oops. And okay, wait a minute. That into it pulled the, let me get some more little putty out of there. It pulled the little sticker off of there. Oh, okay. All right, so there is our second project, a simple birthday card, such bright and cheery colors. Okay. All right, let me move these things out of the way and I'll come back with another project. Okay. We are ready to go with our next project. There's a little sequence there. So on this project here, we are going to create this fun birthday card. It's a butterfly card. Look how cute that is. And then we've got, of course, our matching envelope to coordinate. So let me share with you with the products that I used to create this card. Let me set that just aside over there. So first, we are using our note cards and envelopes, and we currently just have them in the basic white. I have some packs of the very vanilla, and so I thought I'd use them just to give you um, a different look with the vanilla as opposed to the white. But they are available, and they are a pack of 20, and I think the cost is either 10 or $11. They're very, very reasonable. And you get the note card size and the envelope, and they're perfect size to send in the mail. So they're able to go in the mail, no problem. We're using fresh freesia ink. And oh, I didn't grab the paper. I forgot to grab that. This is part of the Boca suite of products that is in the spring catalog. And let me open this up here because I've used quite a bit of the paper on the die cutting for this project for the class. And so I want to open up a fresh pack so you can kind of get a peek at them. So the bokeh is the technique where you kind of get those little, like, almost like bubbles. It looks like bubbles, but it's like, it's a lighting thing. And let me take this. So I should have had these separated. So you've got all these different colors here. So these all have, okay. These all have like that bokeh technique on them with the spots of light, which are beautiful in themselves and would work wonderfully well with this die cut, this stamp set, which is probably why it's paired with that. Because I used both sides on the die cutting, which I'll show you. So you've got this side, and then if we flip it over, see if I can do this without buttering up all the paper. Okay. So on this side, you kind of get like not so much an ombre effect, but you get a mixture of colors. You can see just the different colors in here. This has got some freesia, but it's also got coral in there and some peach pie. Same here. And then the balmy blue, the fresh freesia. There's a little like pretty and pink, maybe petal pink there too. Anyway, this is what I cut the butterflies, the big butterflies out of, and then I cut the detailed butterflies out of these pieces here. And I think they kind of all work together. So this is a really, really beautiful paper pack. So I'd highly recommend it. It's $12.50. It's in the spring catalog. I think you can do a lot with it. So and we're using the butterfly stamp set and the hybrid embossing folder and dies that come in that suite of products. And then we're also using the iridescent rhinestone gems. So this stamp set, just the stamp set itself, not with these, you can get free as a celebration item. And that's with the $60 purchase. Now, last I looked, which was yesterday, this stamp set was still unorderable, like in the bundle. So with the hybrid embossing folder and dies, but it is supposed to be back in stock on February 24th. So that being said, it could come in sooner. If it's something that interests you, let me know. I have a couple ladies that I'm just waiting for it to come back in stock so I can place their order for it. But again, this is also a free choice too. Beautiful stamp set. So this stamp set works like the other hybrids that I've told you about or shown you. We're not going to use it that way today. I'm just going to share with you what you can do. I've done this on a different project before, so I don't know if you've seen that on my videos, but this die sets down in the folder, and you want to put it on the side with the Stampin' Up logo. It sets in the folder. You put your cardstock down there and close it, and it will emboss it and cut it at the same time. So you'll get this butterfly and you get everything embossed around it on the piece of cardstock, but it's going to cut this one out and emboss it for you. So really cool with the hybrid embossing folder and dies. Very, very fun products. But on this project, we're going to use, and yeah, this, okay, we're going to use this. So I'm not going to use the folder today, but I did want to share that with you. So we're going to use this die and this one, the detailed one, and this one is for a card front. So I'm going to show you how to use that in just a moment. And I'm going to grab the happy birthday out of here and a time to celebrate sentiment. So I've gone ahead and done some die cutting. I'll share with you what I've done on that. So the supplies that we have in front of us are, I've got a very vanilla note card. You will either have, well, you'll probably have a vanilla one and a basic white one. So you'll have both in your packet, and then you'll have the supplies, of course, to complete 2 projects. So they come with a matching envelope. And then I've just used one piece of DSP, and I've cut out a 2" by 5¼ inch piece. This is going to be for our envelope flap. And then I've got a label die cut out from this celebration set, the heart-shaped bundle set. I used that die there and cut out our label. And then I've cut out an extra butterfly and a detailed one out of the designer series paper. Now let me share with you how this die works. So the die is set up to work wonderfully well with our note cards and envelopes. However, you can use it on your traditional size card, which would be the 4¼ by 5½. It's just going to be a little shorter, and there are ways to kind of adjust that so that it sets the way you want it to. So like with this note card set size, it sets straight up because you're just taking, I mean, not even off the edge. It's the edge of the butterfly is the bottom of your card, so it sits nicely for you. So how to use this die, because I've already done this one, you would first want to fold your cards, your note card in half to kind of establish that score line there, that crease. Then you will take your die, and I'm just going to put it here. So let me look in the, see in the camera there, there's a little notch there, and it's on both sides. You want to put that notch on the score line of your card. So when you're putting it through your cutting emboss machine, you're going to line that line up with the score line of your card. That way, when you run it through your machine and it's all, it's all done, it is going to cut right at the fold. So you're going to get this. You're going to get this free-flowing butterfly. So you're going to end up with this excess on your project. And all you're going to do is just cut that off. So just use your scissors. Snip in on one side and then do the other. Okay. And that's just trash. You can just discard that. So we've got our little butterfly. Oops. There we go. Sorry, it just threw my bone folder there. We've got our butterfly. We're just going to flatten that a bit there. And then we've got, I did the same thing on a piece of designer series paper, only instead of putting it on the score line, I just took it to the edge of the paper because I just want to be able to put that right over the top of my die cut butterfly. So you can see I've got a little excess here. So I'm just going to trim that off. And I'll wait and trim this once I get it on my card front. So I'm going to flip that over and put some adhesive on my butterfly. Just put a little adhesive on those antennas too. And I inadvertently got it on my table surface there. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to go like this. It'll be a little easier for me to line up to take that back side of the card out from under the butterfly. So that is what works for me. You do what is best for you. And you'll just line that up perfectly with the butterfly cut out. Press that down. And then if you bring this up, you can kind of see there's a little overlap there. So I'm just going to trim that off with my scissors. That'll make it easier than as opposed to you being like, well, maybe this is too much. This way you just know you can just trim it off with the edge of your card. So this in and of itself, super cute. But we're going to take it up a notch by putting a die cut detailed piece on there. And we're going to do so just by putting a little bit of adhesive on the body of the butterfly. And determining where I want to put that. And I'm just going to put it right there in the center on the body of the butterfly. I want to leave these up myself. I want to have that lift on the card. You can do whatever you would like. Now then I wanted to create, so I wanted to bring this butterfly back together. See how the body matches the bulk of the designer period pair and not so much the die cut piece, the detailed one. So what I did was I took a scrap piece of my designer paper that I used for the base, and I just put it in the center of this die and ran it through. So that created like the head and the body for me. And then what I did was just come up and trim and did the same on this side. I just kind of used the lines of the die to kind of go along with it to kind of create that. And then I'm going to take these little antennas off because I've already got them on this butterfly. So I've just trimmed that off. And I'll put a little liquid adhesive on there. I'm going to take that body and just put it right over top of that die cut piece. So you see how it has like the ombre coloring of the base here. So I just wanted to tie it together that way. That's what worked best for me. I felt like that just kind of cleaned everything up, pulled it all together. Okay. So we've got the butterfly part of our card done. We need to stamp our greeting both inside and out. And we're going to do that with our fresh freesia. And okay. There we go. It's like, what did I do with my stamp thing? It's right there where you put it. And then I'm going to do time to celebrate on the inside. And if you just kind of look where your butterfly is, you put like right in the center. You'll stamp that and the butterfly will cover over top of that. Right. Go ahead and shut that ink up. Well, actually, we're going to do the envelope. So I'm going to just go ahead and cover that. I might put a butterfly on there, but let's do this first. So I'm just going to take my adhesive and run that all along the top. When I'm putting paper on the flap of the envelope, I want to make sure I've got adhesive all the way around the edge because I don't want that coming up in the mailing process. So I want to make sure that's secure on there. And then you'll just take your designer series paper and line that up with the seam of the fold there. Putting that down and then just flip it over and you can just quickly just trim that to kind of follow along your envelope. There we go. Now we've got to put some dimensionals on here. Let's see here. Okay. And this is kind of a little long, so I want to put 3 in there. I want to make sure I'm supporting that center piece. So it doesn't get any like droopiness in the center of the label. And we're going to put that. There we go. The center. And then where are my gems at? What do I do with them? Okay, we're going to come back in with our iridescent gems. Grab some of those. Do another one. And one more. Okay. On this side. Okay. And there is our third card. So we've got this in the white and then the vanilla. So just the vanilla kind of softens it a little bit. Not that this is like really harsh, just gives it a little bit of a different feel, a little softness there. But beautiful birthday cards that you could send to brighten somebody's day. Okay, I will be right back with the other supplies for our last project. Back with our last project. So this is the last project we're going to do today. Doesn't that just look like a ray of sunshine with those colors? Okay. So let me share with you what we're doing on this project, what we're using. Okay, we are using the heartfelt hexagon punch. So we've got that. We've got pumpkin pie ink. We're using another butterfly stamp set. This is the sketched butterfly stamp set. And let me get this. This is the die I'm using out of the stamp set. So it's like a triple butterfly. And then you've got the other butterflies that kind of die cut all these images in the stamp set, and then some cute little extra detailed ones. This stamp set has some great fonts, the different fonts in it, but I love the sentiment. So you've got birthday, thank you, thinking of you. And I'm going to pair that with the Bloom Impressions Designer Series paper. So this is a beautiful blossom paper. And I'm just going to show it to you on this because you can see it a little bit better, kind of see all the little patterns at once. So this one that's not showing up quite on camera is the one we're using. So you'll be able to see a little more definition on that one. But it's just got all these little beautiful tiny blossoms in a variety of different colors, and then like a watercolor wash on some of the other sides and like softer tones. But this is free with a $60 purchase. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. So we've got our envelope. We've got a piece of Daffodil Delight that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. We've got a piece of basic white that's 3.5 by 5. A piece of pumpkin pie that is 3.25 by 4.75. A piece of designer series paper that is 3 by 4.5. I've gone ahead and already die cut our triple butterfly out of the pumpkin pie, so that is done. And I did go ahead and punch a tailored or heartfelt tailored tag, I think is what a punch used to be called like years ago when we had one similar to this, was like harsher lines. So this is softer and more and round. So anyway, heartfelt hexagon is the one I punched out of the white. We are going to go ahead and take and punch out a hexagon right out of the center of the pumpkin pie. Because if you know me, if we're going to layer over it, I'm going to punch something or die cut something out of it. And don't think that I didn't think like, oh, could I get this punch out and this die? And I thought, no, that's going to drive me crazy because if I'm off, it would just like ruin the layer. So no, we just punched it out. I die cut that out of something else. Or another just piece of cardstock. So, okay. So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half and flatten that fold with our bone folder. And let's see, we need to do a little stamping. So let's bring these in and this, all these things we need to stamp on. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start by stamping my sentiment. And we're just going to make this one a thinking of you. I mean, what kind of sunshine is that? But, oh, the best. With the oranges and the yellows. And then I want to stamp one of the butterflies on here. And I'm going to do that before I stamp the rest of them because I just want the single one. So we're just going to put a little butterfly coming off of that. A little different than I did on this example one. So, but similar concept. Okay, and then I'm going to ink up all these butterflies and we're going to stamp it. A little swirl of them on the front and back. We've got that. And then the way these butterflies are designed, I didn't want to do it down here because it kind of went into your writing. So I did them up in the top corner. That was something fun and different there too. Okay. And I think that's it. That's it with our stamping. So we can put this aside. All right. So on the example here, oh, and we're using some Weka Stella. I forgot to do that, tell you that. On this example, I've got these little tabs coming out on the side. So what I did was I just took that heartfelt hexagon that we punched out of the pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to cut that in half. Okay. And we'll go ahead and layer. Where's my adhesive there? We're going to layer. And because I'm layering on something that's punched out, I want to put my adhesive on this part so that I don't put glue on the center and then I end up getting that everywhere. Of course, I could use my silicone mat if I did do that. But this just makes it a little easier, not so messy. So I'm going to put these tabs down and they're just going to go in the center of my card. Just to kind of create a little added layer there and an element of interest on the card. And you just kind of want to eyeball them, see if they're like across from each other there. Okay. And we'll come back in with some more liquid glue, putting that just, okay. Turning this, as I was putting this together, I'm like, oh, that is cut slightly different than this. The stems are like going up, and these, if I put it this way, it'd kind of be at an, I mean, not that you'd really notice it, but yeah. You could make this card either like a portrait style or a landscape style. So this would be portrait, this would be landscape. I'm like, what do I want to do? I mean, I do kind of like it this way, but if for some reason your paper's cut this way and the stems are, you could make it landscape. I think I'm going to stick with the way I had it designed though. I'll just go with that. Just like, you know, where's my dimensionals at? I'm just talking out loud here. You're like, I know, Christina, I can hear you. So we're gonna put those on the front. And then these little butterflies, I'm gonna put those on with some dimensionals. Let me see if I've got, I think the little minis will fit under there. Maybe. Let's see, sorry, my head was in the picture there. So that might be a little big. Let me cut that. You know, it's a tiny space when a mini is going to be too big. Let's see. Put, okay. So I'll take the backs off of these minis and those up there just on the side of the thinking of you. And we've got to put our inside layer in the card. And put a little wing of Stella on those butterflies' wings. Just a little bit. It just gives it a little shimmer. You know, it's a thinking of you card, so you could use this for like a sympathy card, but it's like, you know, sending some sunshine. But you don't want it to be overly like blinged up, I don't think, for like a sympathy card, but that just gives a little shimmer to those wings on that butterfly. And there is our fourth card. Okay, so let me get all this stuff out of the way. And we'll come back with our cards here. So we've got this one, and we've got this one, and this one. We'll put the birthday. There we go. And then we've got both of our butterfly ones with the envelopes. So how pretty is that? Do you like them? Are you excited about the projects that we created? I hope that you are. I hope that you're like, you know what, these are great and they are happy and they are fun. And that's what we need in February because it's sad and dreary and just gloomy weather. Hang on a second. Let me turn this camera around and I'll talk to you a bit here. Okay, I'm back. We're done. We've got all the things. I got to put all the stuff away now. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that these projects creatively inspired you. I hope they brought you some cheer because, like I said, it's February and it is like, it's dreary outside. We've got like couple weeks to go and hello March 1st, right? And you know, in March here in Northeast Ohio, we never know what we're going to get weather-wise. I mean, we could get a 70-degree weather day, but we could also get like our biggest snowstorm of the, snow season in March. It's quite possible. So we'll take it though. We'll hope for those warmer days and those spring flowers popping through. So coming up in March, I'll have another monthly class, and I believe that one is a caring note card class. So like sympathy, get well. I can't tell you the amount of people that I've talked to that need sympathy cards that are like, I'm making sympathy cards. And those are something that when you need them, you just wish that they were already made because depending on who that person is in your life that you've lost or a dear friend, it can be really very difficult. So yeah. So that's what's coming up in March. I'm also going to do a kit together. So if you're looking to get together with some other women, we're going to work on kits. Stampin' Up! Has a great line of kits, and there are a ton of great kits on the last chance list too at like deep discounts. Some of them are like 50% off, 50, 60% off. Like that's a great buy. So I'm gonna do a kit together. So watch your email. If you're on my email list, watch for details on that. You can sign up for it. And that'll just be a smaller group, but probably I'd like to keep it around a half a dozen ladies. And we just gather around my dining room table and share some fellowship and creativity and just really just have that time. Something to do and share time with others. So while we're creating. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, happy stamping. Go out and create your own paper sunshine and brighten somebody's day with it. Take care.